Hey guys, what's up? This is Mukhtar, and today I'm gonna show you how to create any 8051 based project in Keil. So I have Keil already installed in my PC. I have UV5 version, and actually in 8051 nowadays in market we have lots of different variants. So let's take an example of very popular variants, that is P89V51RD2 chip by NXP. It's a very popular chip, so let's have a look. So I have already downloaded its datasheet. So if you see its block diagram, it's basically 8051 based core, and it's having some additional feature and some peripherals. So you can see here it has SPI, programmable counter, watchdog, and most importantly it's having 1 kilobytes of internal RAM and 64 kilobytes of internal flash. So let's create a project. So before going to create for the project, I would like to setting up one workspace for that. So I'll just create a folder structure over here. So let's name it. So let's name it as demo 8051 base pro. Alright, so inside that I would also like to create few more folders. So here I'll keep one folder for Keil and one folder for my source code. Alright, inside Keil I'll create one more folder. That would be for hex. Alright, and for other files. Let's go back. In source code folder I would like to create 3 folders. One is application folder, then then hardware abstraction layer folder, then one for startup file. So this is my setup. So let's create a project. So just open a Keil UEFI. So by default it's look like this. If you want to create a new project, then you should go in project option. Here you need to click on a new UV project. So just I'm clicking on it. Here it's asking for the project name, so I'll say demo 8051 pro. Now I would like to save this project in the my workspace which have been created just before. So inside the Keil I'm creating this project. Okay, now it's asking for the chip number. So as I told you, we will select P89V51 RD2 from NXP. Alright, so here it is. Just select it, so it will show you some description. Just correct. So just click OK button. Now it's asking for the startup. Whether would you like to add a startup file in your project. Usually I click yes, but here I'll click no, because I'll show you how you can add the startup file externally. So this is the project folder. Now I would like to rename it. I'll say demo 8051 pro. Now this is the folder for the source code. Again I would like to rename it as my application folder. Now I need 2 more folders, so you can just go in manage project items. Here you can create folder like this. just click again, startup. So this is the folder setup in a Keil UEFI. Now I'll show you. You need to set some settings. So we'll go in project option. Okay. Under a first tab like device, no need to do anything over here because we have already selected device over here. So let's go next. In a target, you can put crystal value. So let's take example of 12 megahertz. This value is important if you're running code on simulation. So it helps to tell the compiler that program execution must be done on the crystal value of 12 megahertz concentration. Alright, now you can select memory model also. So by default it's small, but I would like to select large variable in X data. So which means by default all the variables go in X data memory. So as we are using a P89V51RD2, it's having internal 1 kilobytes of RAM, so we can choose this option. Under a ROM size, you don't need to do anything. You can keep rest of the setting as it is. Now in output, yes, in output you need to set up the folder path. So here I'll give hex. Alright, so just go OK. Now don't forget to check this option, because unless you don't do this, it will not going to create a hex file. So I'll just check it. Okay, format hex 80 is okay. Alright, then let's go next. Under listing, you don't need to do anything, but okay, you can keep all the option as it is. Under user, you don't need to do anything. Under C51, yeah, later on we'll use this option, include path. I'll show you how you can include path. Under A51, as we will not use assembly file, I'll only going to show you C file, so we don't need anything over here. Under PL51, locate, yes, here what we can do, you can set this code range and X data range. So before setting them, we can have a look to the datasheet. Here we can search for the memory layout. So let's go fast. Alright, so this is the memory layout of a P89V51RD2 chip. It's just for the RAM. So here you can see it's having conventional 256 bytes of RAM internal and additional 768 bytes of RAM, which is mapped on X data memory. So in hex it is from 00 to 2FF. So total 1 kilobyte of RAM. So we'll use this option. We'll use this information for this setting. So under X data range, you can type 0x00 to 0x2FF, and under code range, it's having 64 kilobytes of flash. So you can say 0x00 to 0xFFFF, which means 0 to 64 kilobytes. Okay, 65535. And X data range is from 0 to 768 bytes. Alright, so here we are telling the compiler like this is the range. So now if the values goes beyond this range, then this IDE will give you warning or give you the error. Now one more thing I usually set, I usually initialize the stack. So what you can do, you can just type this stack, and then I usually initialize at on the upper part of the internal 256 byte of RAM, so that is 0x81. So upper part of 128 bytes of RAM. Okay, so let's go next. Here you can disable some warnings. Usually I disable warning number 16, which is something like unused variable. You can check it out. And under the debug tab, you can keep as it is. Under utilities, again you can keep as it is, because people normally use flash magic, so we don't use this utility. So we will use the hex file and use flash magic to load the code inside the controller. So alright, this is it. So hit the OK button. Now what we will do, alright, so remember we have created this folder, okay, and just in a very next moment we will add some files inside this folder, but before compiling them we should give the path so that compiler will understand from where it should take a files, or where it should at least search for the files. So just so I'll keep my files inside this. Alright, so you can just give the path, the app, then hell, and then startup. Okay, so just hit the OK button. Now we need to add the files. So what I will do, I will just first add files in my workspace, then later on I'll add those files in UV5. Okay, so what I'll do, I'll use some existing project from where I'll just copy, let's copy template. This is template of .c and .h, just copy it, and let's paste it inside the app folder. So I'm just renaming it as main. Alright, now we need a few more files, like under hell we'll need a header file, p89v5 rd2, and one standard data type. So I am copying it inside the hell. Now you also need one more file, which is startup. As I told you, I'll show you how to add startup externally. So I have already startup file over here, so I'm just copying it into my workspace folder. So here we go. So now let's add those files into the Keil. So I'll again use manage project items. So under app I'll just give the files from app. So here you need to select all files, so it will show you all file inside the app folder. Just go and select header and C file, and then under hell we'll select I'll select both of them. Then under startup, so it's not showing, so just select the all file option and just select it and add it. Okay, so this is done. Now what next thing we need to do, we need to create a main function. Okay, so here, at least for the documentation point of view, you can rename all these things, or here I'll just write main.h. So just right. So this is the main function, which is the start of the C. Okay, so I think we are ready. I'll also rename this thing. So just copying it, so it will just avoid recursive adding of headers. Alright, so now I think we are ready to compile. So actually you can use this template to create any C file. So this is nicely written template. You don't need to think where to keep define macros, type def, variable, all are perfectly divided, and it's look good, both header and C. And these templates are compatible with the Doxygen keywords, so you can create documentation with the help of Doxygen tool at the end. So this is it. So here you can simply start writing a code, but before that I'll just save it all my work, and we are ready to compile. So here you can hit this option, or you can simply press F7 on your keyboard. So I'll just hit this option. Okay, here we go. So 0 error, 0 warning. Alright, so this is it, guys. Thanks for watching. I hope this is really informative video for you guys, and yeah, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and do like it, and I'll be sharing more videos. And thanks guys, see you.